people who moderate subreddits or websites. What's the most disturbing thing someone has posted? Not sure if it counts, but I worked as a content moderator for a major social media platform for years. I saw everything from graphic violence to the most extreme sexual content. Quite often, over 100 times a day. Someone posted sexual abuse material of an animal being shoved into a woman's vagina. They did it on the main channel when the mods were asleep, and then posted over 30 separate images. So I had to delete them one by one. I had to look at 30 different images of the same animal being abused. After some point, it was very clear the animal had died. I reported the account and banned them. This was on Discord. You might ask, why did I have to hand delete the images when banning someone can auto-delete? There should be a whole subreddit for this topic. Moderated a Zelda community for a while, saw pretty much every flavor of disturbing from gore to CP. Majority of the community was 14 to 25, and I was the only non-American mod for a while, so covering a lot of early mornings alone. Kids, young adults don't handle consequences well. CSA material. I very briefly volunteered to moderate a roleplay forum site. Lasted like 2 weeks. Started with text posts, which were all very standard if a bit cringe. After a period of good mod behavior, I was given the option to moderate media, which came with a long warning list and mental health resources for me. Weird, but whatever. My first session was maybe an hour, and it was mostly harmless, like normal nudity and porn, some self-harm stuff, but I handle gore pretty well. I took a break. Long time ago on Yahoo groups, some asshole posted CP, and I was losing my shit crying and having a panic attack. It's truly so horrific and disturbing. I moderate r/bunnies. Really, the worst we get is either grieving pet owners posting pictures of their dead bunnies' corpses, upsetting but understandable given the grief mindset, or absolute edgelord clowns talking about eating the bunnies. Back when I moderated a Steven Universe Discord server in 2018, we got gore-bombed with pictures of people who had been gruesomely murdered, and I was the only mod online at the time, so that sucked LMAO. I run a subreddit for my university. A stalker, who knew my account, started obsessively posting there. Everything from begging for me to speak to him to threatening to kill himself/me. In total 32 posts. Yeah, my account is private now. Reddit co-scrubs 95% of the WTF stuff and 99.5% of the serious WTF stuff. But it isn't uncommon to see serious gore in the 3 minutes or so that it's live if you're looking at the right sub at the right time and the sub isn't set for mods to manually review the posts. Really, serious violence seems to happen all the time in the world, though accidental, pure stupidity, and intentional. One of the most recent WTF ones, though, that I saw, over in Ukraine, a drone blew a guy in half, and moderated a political message board long ago during the early days of the war on terror. I removed a lot of gruesome beheadings and other terrorist content. We were not about that kind of stuff at all, but a few members had a hard-on about showing us how they really were. Cartel videos that included himself involved in the killing. He shared these videos to our mod group chat for a FB group. One of the videos was a huge warehouse with several piles of bodies in one room. All of their chests and stomachs were emptied and flat because their organs had been removed for sale on the black market. Not necessarily on my subreddit, but I've seen a lot of threats of violence. I have people send them to me to help send reports to police. They're almost always empty threats. The problem is that I said almost always. As a mod of a movie and TV subreddit, it's disturbing how many people hate any female character that isn't solely a victim in need of rescue. Any deviation from that, and these people lose their minds. TBH, the most disturbing thing is realizing how quickly you stop being shocked and just start scrolling like it's a weird morning routine. I mod for a sub of people who are misdiagnosed with a certain thing. This person was misdiagnosed so hard that when they finally took her seriously, it was found out that she has late-stage ALS and bladder cancer. Doctors wouldn't take her seriously for so long she's now on hospice and dying. Their suicide note. They began talking to a character AI who told them they'd be together in the next world. Grim shit. AI-generated fetish content. No, I won't elaborate. Not disturbing per se, but kind of interesting asterisk. I was a moderator on 3 websites with forums. 2 out of the 3 of those forums had a moderator associated with an intelligence agency either in the US or UK, depending on where the forum was based. The 3rd forum didn't have a politics section. I was friends with someone who became a moderator for yet another big website/forum that was very political, and welp, he found the same thing. Take it for what you will. Smiley face. I mod a Discord server for a student organization. Because the link is posted on the university website, anyone can join. The very first person I had to bat was this man who I'm convinced was severely mentally ill. He would type in this cringy way, "We'd one like to be my friend uwu" kind of shit. He would spam the chat with random edgelord memes. The worst is when he said he was lonely and that he desperately wanted a girlfriend. He said, "I am going to kill myself unless a woman on here goes on a..." Not posted but stalked and essayed some members of the community IRL. That would be the fart fetish video that did the rounds of the mental health subs last month. I moderate r/Super Beetle, not much craziness happening over there. Cartel videos, CP, animal abuse, graphic death videos. Things that I still see perfectly clear in my mind 15 years later. You know how some people think racism isn't a thing anymore? 5 minutes in our mod inbox will cure them of that thought. I posted some screenshots of the horrors, TM, for one of my subreddits explaining why the mods cut off conversations about the black guest on the show earlier than similar conversations about other non-black guests, and suddenly the complaint stopped. I used to moderate a 4chan spin-off site. There was a lot of the usual gory edgelord stuff you'd expect. Then we got spammed with CP by a rival_chan. I was the only mod on at the time, so I had to go through the images one by one to ban and report them. Some of those kids were literal babies. I have no idea what happened to the kids in those photos. I'm glad I had therapy to deal with the impact of seeing that.